Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports back in the video today, and today the Houston Rockets are potentially trading for Kelly Olynyk, who has played with the Utah Jazz for the last two seasons, or the last season and a half, and he is a really good candidate for the Houston Rockets to acquire a center. The Rockets are looking to get a backup center next to Alperen Sengun, and Olynyk would be a great addition, in my opinion, for the Rockets. He brings in some size. He's a good rebounder as well, and he really comes in and helps with some needs that the Rockets have. You know, you need help with the rebounding. You need help with three-point shooting. You need help with size, and you need a backup center. Olynyk qualifies for every single thing I just mentioned. Olynyk this season from three is shooting 42.3%, which is a career high for him. He was with the Rockets, if you remember, in the 2020-21 season, was acquired by the Rockets and averaged 19 points per game with 8 rebounds per game, which is the most he's ever averaged in a season. Although it was a short run, 27 games with 24 starts, was acquired when the Rockets sent Victor Oladipo to the Miami Heat, and the Rockets ended up getting Kelly Olynyk and Avery Bradley in return. How funny would it be if the player that Rockets ended up sending in this deal was Victor Oladipo? I am about 99% sure it will not be Victor Oladipo. Look, this Jazz team, they are good, and I have a really good feeling they're not trying to, go down. Kelly Olynyk, he's been good for them this season. They're going to want something in return for him that will help their team out. And I think the player that the Rockets are going to have to give up in return to get Kelly Olynyk will 100% have to be Jae'Sean Tate. I think Jae'Sean Tate would actually help the Utah Jazz, would bring in great defensive, usage and rebounding as well. And we would send Jae'Sean Tate and a 2024 second-round pick via Golden State. So Utah is dumping off a expiring contract, getting Jae'Sean Tate, who would have one more year left on his deal after this season, and a second-round pick. Not a bad deal for Utah. Olynyk has played 44 games this year with Utah with 8 starts, with 21 minutes per game, averaging 8.2 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 5 assists per game with 1 steal per game. His free throw percentage is 85%. His three-point percentage is 42.2%, and his field goal percentage is 56.1%. The field goal percentage is a career high. The three-point percentage is a career high, and the free throw percentage is close to career high, very close to career high. His career high is 86%, and right now he's shooting 85.2% at the free throw line. So he's having a great year with Utah. Sure, it's not as good as how he was doing with Houston in the 2020-21 season, but think about it. I mean, look how bad the Rockets were in the 2020-21 season. He was taken out of everybody. I mean, you had Christian Wood, you had Kevin Porter Jr., but Olynyk was taking a lot of shots for the Rockets. I mean, with the Rockets in that 2021 season after we acquired him, he was averaging 12 field goal attempts per game. And he has never gotten near that in his career. I mean, the highest he's, the closest he's gotten to that is, you could look at Boston in 2014-15 season, 8.3 field goal attempts per game in that, or 8.3 field goal attempts in that season per game. And then with Miami in 2020-21 season, 8.7. Detroit 2021-22, 7.2. Utah last year, 8.2. But he's never gotten as high as the double figures outside of being with the Rockets in the 2021 season. But he's a good player. He's a good rebounder, and he's a great three-point shooter. I think he would fill in a lot of needs that the Rockets have. I think he'd be a cheap addition, too. You're only going to have to give up Tate in a second or maybe a couple seconds, which is not a big cost for this Rockets team. And things would be different, a lot different when compared to last time when Olynyk was here. First of all, he wouldn't be starting. He would be coming off the bench. That's not the biggest thing. This Rockets team is good now. They're good now. They're not they're not great. I mean, but they're not the worst team. Like, their Rockets team, as a Rockets fan in the 2020-21 season, was one of the worst teams I've ever watched. And I've been watching the NBA since the 16-17 season. That was one of the worst teams I've ever watched. And that's coming from a Rockets fan. And I think things would be different now. I mean, sure, the Rockets are still like kind of middle in the West right now. They're 20-23 and they're 11th seed in the West. But things are a lot better than they were a couple years ago. Let me know your thoughts on the potential trade for the Rockets in the comment section, and peace out.